Bookshops. They were once a mainstay of high streets and shopping malls up and down the land and across the world. Many people, myself included, could while away the hours browsing the new releases, looking admiringly at the covers, wishing we had both the time and the intelligence required to consume all the classics. And we did so whilst breathing in that heady aroma of paper and ink that marks bookshops as unique. And then one day, our heads were turned. A man called Jeff Bezos believed that the feel and the smell of books were less important than the cost and the convenience. He was right. So right, in fact, that he then brought the same level of convenience to other items. And pretty soon, he had single-handedly redrawn the retail landscape while rendering bookshops and even entire high streets redundant. In my old house, we had a kitchen drawer that served a single purpose. It was used to house takeaway menus. Depending upon the prevailing mood within our household, we could delve into that drawer and with nothing more than a phone call, satisfy our cravings for Italian food, Indian food, Chinese food, Thai food. That drawer was a gateway to a global culinary feast. All those menus are gone now. They've been replaced by an app, which means we don't even have to negotiate those tricky telephone conversations in which you try to correctly pronounce the names of foreign dishes without being racially insensitive. And then, of course, there's Elon Musk. Setting aside the somewhat interesting way that he salutes a US presidential inauguration, Musk revolutionized not just the automotive industry. He's very close to eating NASA's lunch too with his SpaceX program. Whether it's Jeff Bezos and Amazon, Elon Musk with Tesla and SpaceX, or the creators of Uber Eats, these individuals and their companies have targeted a market sector and in a very, very short space of time, turned it on its head. They're what we now know as disruptors. Disruptors have changed the way we buy our groceries, gather and consume our news, listen to music, watch movies. You only have to look at the UK's dying high streets to see the impact these disruptors have had upon the entire retail experience. Which begs the question, is the construction equipment industry due for a disruption? The sector is worth billions of pounds, and deliberately or otherwise, the incumbent manufacturers have left the door ajar. The household names of the car industry sat on their laurels, assured that their petrol and diesel-powered models would feather their respective nests now and long into the future. Many in the field of demolition and construction equipment have done likewise. There are outliers, of course. JCB with its pioneering work in the field of hydrogen power, Liebherr's giant leaps in autonomous mining equipment, Volvo's exceptional work in the sphere of emissions reduction, and Bobcat's remarkable embracing of technology. But in many instances, the sector has become slow and intransigent. Like the oil and gas companies trying to squeeze every last dollar from their commodities before those commodities are outlawed, some manufacturers are sticking stubbornly to diesel fuel, to machines with cabs that we're increasingly struggling to fill, to producing machines that are good for a single but very short life that can't be effectively remanufactured, rebuilt, or resold for a decent price. Against that background, the door isn't just ajar for a disruptor. It's wide open. And there's an all are welcome sign hanging outside as well. Now, conventional wisdom says that the barrier to entry is too high, that it would be impossible for a newcomer to make a significant impact in the field of demolition and construction equipment. I beg to differ. If Elon Musk can disrupt the automotive sector, then the equipment industry is there for the taking. And let's not kid ourselves. Some of the equipment on offer today is extraordinary. Each excavator, wheel loader, each dozer, it's an amazing feat of engineering. But at heart, they're an engine, a transmission, and some hydraulics, arranged in what we currently believe to be an efficacious manner. All of that could be very easily replicated, improved, or entirely replaced should someone have a mind to do so. If the machines of the future are to be fueled by something other than diesel, the engine expertise currently within the sector will be largely meaningless. If our machines are ultimately driven by servos and motors, there'll be no need for hydraulic knowledge and expertise. That too will be redundant. I see it like this. The industry has been travelling down the same road for a century or more, but it's come to a crossroads. Many companies will choose to continue down their chosen path until it's no longer environmentally permissible or economically viable to do so. Some will turn left and head down the road marked electric. Some will turn right and take the hydrogen road. But there remains a very real possibility that as current manufacturers slow as they approach this vital junction, someone new could enter the race, like an F1 car on fresh tyres storming out of the pit lane. They could be nimble enough and hungry enough to catch and potentially overtake those industry veterans that are weighed down by history and that have obdurately continued down the road well travelled. Now, whether that's a good thing remains to be seen. If a disruptor does enter the race and makes things better for customers, for operators and the environment, I'd welcome them with open arms. If, however, the disruptor shows any signs of megalomania or a weird way with a crowd salute, then I'm out.